Alex here with a, I don't think it fits into any category. Alex here with a video on quiet quitting. Um, I finally decided to do a video on this topic because it's gone mainstream media, which is mind-boggling to me because I don't think it's something that they would want people to actually contemplate. But then I realized that there was a sort of shift in the argument, and then it makes a lot more sense to me. So apparently, I did see these quiet quitting videos come out way long ago, and they were at the time about people working two jobs, but really not. I guess the argument was that a lot of jobs out there didn't really require full attention to complete, and so some people could do two jobs or some people could do three jobs, and I guess that had angered some employers because they felt like they were paying for work that wasn't being done, and the employees were arguing the work was being done. It was just being done a lot quicker than you thought. And so just because they didn't sit at a desk for 8 hours doesn't mean that they didn't get 8 hours of work done. And this was, from what I understand, 100% in connection to the pandemic and the ability to work remotely. Um, so to me, when I saw that, it was like basically people are gaming the system because they really don't believe in you know, you should just be a good person because if you're a good person, good things will happen to you. People are figuring out that they should game the system because why not? What are the consequences? There aren't any. They changed that though. So I watched a more recent video, mainstream media stuff. There's Dr. Phil talked about it. It's like really mainstream to talk about this now. And they completely changed it though. Now they're saying that it's about only doing your job description and nothing more, which to me is like, I guess they just got so scared of people learning about this that they decided we should like shift this conversation into something else that's more palatable because this is not good. Um, and I guess what surprises me a little bit is that the people who are promoting quiet quitting in the beginning just went along with it. I think what happened was they were getting shamed and attacked for being bad workers or bad Americans, bad people. And they didn't want to be bad people. And so they changed it. They went along with the change to say, yeah, we're really just only wanting to work what our job description says and nothing more. Um, the purpose of my video on this channel is to take it back to what it was, which was gaming the system. And it was employees gaming the system, exploiting it. And I've actually never had a term for this. They call it quiet quitting, but I mean, it's a good term, I guess. I've understood it to be something that both employers and employees do, and I've understood it to be something that employers were doing a lot longer. I mean, way before employees. Employers figured this out from the get go. And just from my personal experiences of being in the workforce, I wouldn't necessarily call it quiet quitting for employers. I'd call it quiet firing. Is basically the employer wants to fire you, but for whatever reason they don't. Maybe they don't want to pay unemployment. Maybe they want to make it more difficult for you to get employment. Maybe they have rules and regulations that their corporation requires them to follow, and they're just annoying, too much red tape. And so, quiet firing is to just be a complete and total jerk to you and make your life such a living hell at your job that you eventually quit. If anybody's been working in this country for I don't know. I mean, I started 2000, I'd say 1990 something, 1998, maybe my first job, something like that. And that was a thing. I mean, I'd experienced that. They don't like you anymore. They want you gone. They don't want to fire you because of whatever reason. So let's just be a total jerk to you and cross your fingers and hope you quit. And I learned later on about the unemployment system and how it worked and how it was more difficult to get unemployment if you quit. And actually learned this at a retail job that I worked at. They went out of business now, so I'll just name them Circuit City. Found out that they got bonuses when employees did not get unemployment. And I guess the reason why is the UI rating, it's like an insurance rating, would go up when the company had to pay out. Sorry, when the state had to pay out. And so when the UI rating went up, the premiums for the company went up. So it was like a monetary incentive to I mean, I wonder how they had these meetings. It was like, it was probably not really spoken expressly. It was probably something like, yeah, if the UA rating doesn't go too high, you get a bigger bonus. And maybe it was coached in sort of as a turnover, like keep your turnover down. Uh, this is something that I'm smirking about because it was such an obvious thing. Another thing they would do is lower your hours. So they would say, okay, we don't want this person here. We want them to quit. So give them like 2 hours a week. They'll quit. And by the way, that's not really a way to get around unemployment. A lot of people don't know that, and I talk about it in a video on the topic, but just let you guys know that actually was a really effective way to get people quit. I saw it all the time when I was working at Circuit City and other jobs. They drop person's hours, 2 or 4, and the person would quit. Of course they'd quit. They have to quit. They need another job. They can't work for just 4 hours a week, and they're not going to get enough money. So this is a thing that I wanted to really point out before I even got into quiet quitting, is that quiet firing is totally a thing. And if you haven't gone through this, I would be amazed, because I've gone through it so many times. And it's just such a normal thing that you don't even, I mean, it's not even really talked about like a shocking thing. It's just like, oh, yeah, they don't like this person. So they're treating them like crap. And eventually they'll quit. So, yeah, quiet firing, in my opinion, was there way before quiet quitting was. And quiet firing, in my opinion, is way more prevalent than quiet quitting. And it represents gaming the system too. It's just another version of gaming the system. Hey, you have to follow all these rules to fire someone. Be a jerk to them. They quit. Now you don't have to follow any of those rules. They just quit. You just tell corporate they quit. You don't explain anything about what's going on, and nobody cares. That's just it's. There's so many obvious reasons why it occurs. It's not a shock. So quiet quitting, I feel like, I mean, I like their definition that you can work 2 or 3 jobs. I mean, the initial definition, but really, I think that it's more of gaming the system from the employee perspective. I feel like this argument that it's about doing only your job description, and even the earlier argument that it's about um, just gaming the system to the extent that you can work multiple jobs and get paid for all of them, it really just comes down to the employees having figured out that they can game the system too. And my understanding of quiet quitting way before I'd even seen the topic, it was just an employee who already decided they didn't want to work there anymore. They just stopped caring. And they figure, why should I quit? Why? I could just be a terrible worker on purpose and ride this out until I get fired and collect as much money as I can in wages until that date occurs. And then once I'm fired, I can file for unemployment. And that was to me what it was. And I had seen people do that too. And I have to say, it's not as common as an employer quiet firing someone, but I have seen employees do that less often, but it does happen. And it's like, okay, this person just checked out. It's just a paycheck. They're just leaving exactly when their shift is over, coming to work exactly when it starts, sometimes coming late, even a little bit late, not too late. And the employers would get frustrated and they'd be like, okay, this person doesn't like their job. Why don't they quit? And the employee would be like, of course I'm not going to quit. Why should I? I can get another job as soon as I get fired. If not, I'll get unemployment. It's like, so I mean, this is the point of this video, is that these terms, I guess they're new. I am completely shocked that they're on like Dr. Phil and stuff, because that to me shows that it is so prevalent now that I guess the system itself is freaking out. And I mean, here I am doing a video on it. So I'm glad to do a video on this topic because I think it's relevant to the videos that I have on the unemployment insurance system. They're probably under the legal nuts and bolts category, but if they're not, there may be a separate playlist on unemployment stuff. And I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. I think it just represents society is not drinking the Kool-Aid anymore. And that's not good. And it's a representation of the deterioration of trust in the country. And everybody is just gaming everything now. It's not good. It just sucks. But I will talk about it because I have personal experiences in connection to it. It is connected to the law, specifically unemployment. And there's another video that people want me to do on this issue of deteriorating trust. So I guess I'll go ahead and work on that now. And I'll probably publish this one today and the other one tomorrow. And if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to post it down in the comments below. By the way, definitely let me know in the comments if you've had experiences with quiet quitting or quiet firing, whether you did that yourself, whether a friend did that, whether an employer did that to you, whether an employer did that to somebody else. And I mean, I can't imagine that this is a total shock to people. The only thing that might be a shock is that they gave it a label and that it's on Dr. Phil and on the mainstream media networks. All right, with that being said, I will see you guys next time.